What's up, guys? UFC 295, Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. It was supposed to be John Jones versus Miocic for the heavyweight title. Jones pulled out, and now we have now the main event is Prochazka versus Pereira. Main event is Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. Amazing fight card, and as usual, I'll start with the main event. Let's get to it. The main event is Jerry Prochazka versus Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight title after Jamal Hill vacated the title because he got injured. Let's start with Prochazka. So Prochazka is coming from submitting Glover Teixeira in round five, almost at the end, a little over a year ago. It was an amazing fight. It was... what made that fight competitive was Teixeira's grappling and most of the fight, the way it played out was while it was on the feet, Jiri Prochazka was the one putting a beating on Glover Teixeira. However, the moment this went to the ground, for the most part, Glover Teixeira showed that he was a superior grappler. However, Jiri showed that he has grappling too, and he can actually, well, obviously he won by submission, but he was able to actually reverse Teixeira a couple of times. I think it was fight of the night. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend watching it. It's not very often you see a fight where you can see a guy dominating. You can see both guys having moments each round, like domination. Like there were moments where Teixeira was dominating. There were moments where Jiri Prochazka was dominating. But again, I think the story of the fight was what made it competitive was the Teixeira's grappling. When he was able to implement his grappling, at the end, Prochazka I think reverses him and then submits him with the rear naked choke in a fight that it's hard to say really how the judges would have scored it. There's a chance it. I didn't sit down to write it down round for round who I think won, but it might have been, I don't know who would have won, honestly, if that fight would have gone to a decision. But yeah, that is Prochazka's last fight, and he's fighting Alex Pereira, who's coming from winning, was it a split decision, or I think it was a split, yeah, from beating Blachowicz in a split decision. It was... if you've seen that fight, which was a few months ago, round one, 99% of it was Blachowicz on top of Pereira. He was able to take him down less than a minute into the round and control him for the remaining of the round. Didn't do much damage. He was looking for submissions, but Pereira was able to survive. Round two was all Pereira. He put a beating on Blachowicz in the stand-up. Like, he showed that, technically speaking, he is the better striker, which makes sense why Blachowicz chose to grapple the entire first round. I can remember another fight where I've seen Blachowicz go for the takedown like this. Actually, never mind. I've seen him do that. He did that against Adesanya when they fought. But anyways, round one, it was all Blachowicz. Round two, it was all Pereira. Now, round three, I think is the reason why this went to a split, because it was very competitive. Unlike round two, where Pereira put a beating on him, round three was very competitive, but not as dominant. I think a little bit, I would give it to Pereira, but at the last minute, Blachowicz takes him down and ends the fight on top of Pereira. And to some judges, that equals winning the fight. Judges in the UFC are retarded. And I think this is what happened here. One of the judges saw, Blachowicz ended on top, therefore I'm going to give him the round. But at the same time, Pereira, like I said, I'm not surprised it was a split decision, because round three was very competitive. But I still think Pereira did enough to get the win. So I actually agree with the decision. I gave it to Pereira. And then, for this one, I'm picking Prochazka to win, because to be honest, Pereira, while I would say, technically speaking, is the better striker when it comes to fundamentals, I don't think he's that much faster than Prochazka. Um, I don't think he puts a pressure that it's gonna overwhelm Prochazka. And then even if you watch his fight versus like Bruno Silva, there were moments where Bruno Silva did his thing, and Pereira was not able to dominate with his striking, even though he was supposed to be the much superior striker. Even with Blachowicz, the only round where he showed his superior striking ability was round 2. Let's not take into consideration round 1, but even round 3, he had considerably slowed down, and that's why he was not able to put a beating on Blachowicz like he did round 2. And that's what I'm counting on this fight. I'm picking Prochazka to win because, if you go watch Prochazka versus Teixeira, he never stopped. He came forward the entire time, and it was, again, Teixeira's grappling that made it difficult for him. Pereira doesn't have any grappling that is gonna make Prochazka uncomfortable. I'm pretty sure Pereira is gonna be more than happy to stand up and trade with Prochazka. This is gonna be a stand-up battle. I don't see. And if someone initiates the grappling, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Prochazka, not Pereira, which I think could be his. If you watch his fight versus Teixeira, he showed that he can grapple, so that could very well be his backup plan if Pereira starts to beat him on the stand-up. But even besides that, I just think that every minute that passes by benefits Prochazka. I think his cardio will hold up longer, and I think he hits hard enough where he will actually be able to connect and knock Pereira out. Obviously, if round 1 Pereira knocks him out, I'm not going to be shocked. This is a former kickboxer champion. But I think the way it's going to play out is Prochazka is going to not survive, but he's going to make it past the first round, and eventually his cardio will get to Pereira, and he's going to knock him out. I don't discard a submission. It could very well be that Prochazka takes him down, and Pereira's not even expecting it. But I have Prochazka TKO round 3. We'll probably see a very competitive first round, but I think after that, Prochazka will take over and win this fight. So Prochazka TKO round 3. Then as a co-main event, we have Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. I wanted to see Jones fight either one of these guys, either Pavlovich or Aspinall. In my opinion, not counting Jones because he's the champion, these two are the best heavyweights out there, not Miocic. No disrespect to Miocic, but at 42 years old and with a 2.5-year layoff, I believe we've seen the best of Miocic come and go. 42 years old, 2.5-year layoff. I don't think we were going to see the best challenge for Jones. Even before that fight was announced, like after Jones beat Gane, I wanted to see Jones versus Pavlovich or Aspinall. So hopefully Jones will fight the winner of this one. Pavlovich is coming from destroying. I mean, look at his record: round 1. Ever since he came to the UFC, every single one. So he lost his debut against Overeem, and then all his other fights he's won them TKO round 1. He's coming from beating Curtis Blades, TKO round 1. Destroyed Tai Tuivasa round 1 in under a minute. The one with Derek Lewis, I will admit it was an early stoppage, but I think it was just a matter of time. I think he was going to knock him out maybe a few minutes later, but I do agree. If you go watch that fight, Lewis was just fine. The referee should have let that fight go a little bit longer. But this guy's a steamroller. He just goes there, starts swinging, he connects, it's over. He's fighting a guy in Tom Aspinall that can do exactly the same. If you look at Aspinall's record, it's almost the same way. Round 1. All of them seems to be almost round 1. I think all of them except for Arlovsky. He's coming from destroying Tibura. The one before that, it's a loss because he injured his leg. I don't take that one into consideration because it was 15 seconds into the fight where I don't know what happened, but he got his leg injured. He submitted Volkov. And then in the fight with Arlovsky, he showed that he can go into round 2 with cardio. I've seen people, when this fight was first announced, I was like, damn, I'm 50-50 in this one. I really don't know who to go with. And I've seen some people convinced that Pavlovich is going to smoke Aspinall the same way he's done everyone else. And I don't blame anyone for believing that, because I believe that if Pavlovich is going to win, it's going to be doing that exactly. He's going to go there and land the punch early and knock Aspinall out. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think other than power and maybe the one-shot knockout ability, I think Aspinall is the much superior fighter. Technique, speed. I think he's a lot faster. And he can grapple. I mean, this guy submitted Volkov. This guy submitted Arlovsky. And only that, but he can do what Pavlovich does. He can actually land the punch that knocks you out in the first round. While I do give, of course, Pavlovich a huge puncher's chance because that's what he does, I think that's his way of winning this one is landing that punch round 1. I believe he's going to be one of those guys that if he doesn't get it done, he's going to gas himself and Aspinall will take over. And that's my pick, Aspinall by TKO round 2, after Pavlovich has wasted all his energy trying to knock him out. Then we also have Frevola versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I have Saint-Denis TKO round 2. He's coming from destroying Thiago Moises, and before that it was Ismail Bonfim, where his pressure striking is just amazing. This guy goes out there and destroys you. He's fighting Matt Frevola, who's coming from knocking out Drew Dober. But however, up until that punch landed, I would argue Drew Dober was winning this fight. And what I didn't notice was that when the other guy's going forward, he doesn't do too good. But he does when he lets he does better when he's the one with the pressure on. Benoit Saint-Denis, if you've seen his last 2 fights, he just goes forward and he does not stop. And he lands some crazy kicks. And I think that's what's going to happen here. What's going to happen, I think Saint-Denis is going to put the pressure on Matt Frevola, eventually connect and knock him out. I got Saint-Denis by TKO round 2. And Diego Lopes versus Pat Sabatini. Diego Lopes is coming from beating Gavin Tucker by submission round 1. But before that, he lost to Evloev on a debut that was less than a week's notice, and it was his UFC debut versus Pat Sabatini, who's coming from completely out-grappling Lucas Almeida and submitting him. I think Lopes is the underdog, and I'm picking Lopes to win. Also TKO round 2. I think he's a lot bigger, a lot stronger. And what I saw against Evloev, on less than a week's notice on his debut, and I'm assuming he's going to be better now, I think he's going to be too much for Sabatini. So I have Lopes, also TKO round 2. Steve Erceg made his also short notice against Dvorak, who's ranked number 10, and beat him convincingly. He's fighting Alessandro Costa. I got Steve Erceg this one by decision. Again, what I saw on a short notice debut against a ranked guy was nothing short of amazing. I don't think Alessandro Costa has the what it takes to... Sorry guys, I'm running out of time here. YouTube only gives me 15 minutes when I upload videos from my phone. So Prochazka, KO TKO round 2. Aspinall, round 3. Aspinall, KO TKO round 2. Benoit Saint-Denis, KO TKO round 2. Diego Lopes by also KO TKO round 2. Steve Erceg by decision. I also have Nassim Sadikov by decision. And that's it. I'll be posting my entire picks on Instagram, and thank you guys for watching.